Hey everybody, RC Power's Mig29 day today at the field. I just finished up my Mig29 RC Power's Mig29 V4. New plans just released as an upgrade to the Mig29 V3, which this one is here. Both of them I've built basically as close to stock as I could in order to accommodate my build style. I will just mention a couple of minor changes that I made to the V4. But anyway, essentially they look, very, very much the same. I think that the way that the nose is shaped on the V4, it might be a little bit narrower, or maybe that was just how it ended up with the build. But it does look a little narrower there. I'm not sure if it's maybe because the KF airfoil. I've got KF4 airfoils on this. I'm not sure if it's because the KF airfoil, it almost looks a little wider, maybe in the shoulders here, if you want to call them that. But anyway, the major differences are in the back half of the plane. As you might be able to see sort of right away. Let me get these arranged sort of wingtip to wingtip. This is the aileron surface on the V3, and this is the actually I've got my radio turned on here, so there's the aileron surface on the V4. So you can see it's tapered considerably out towards the wingtip, which then ends up it makes the tip of the wing not as deep and as long. Essentially, the way it was designed, though, I think in comparison, the Mig29 V4 here has 0.2 more square feet of wing area compared to the V3. You can notice the tail here, the elevator elevons, significant difference. I think the span here from tip to tip, I think I measured, is just over an inch narrower than it is from tip to tip here on the V3. So obviously anything that's not in the slipstream can't cause drag. The other major difference you'll see here, there's the elevon surface on the V4 or V3, sorry, quite large, and here's the elevon surface on the V4. You'll notice the major difference here is that rather than this being a full flying or full floating elevon, the hinge line runs here, and then it's it's not a full flying elevon. And you'll also notice a significant difference in how much surface area of the elevon is in the thrust vectoring, acts as a thrust vectoring vane. So big difference there. So for a couple of changes that I did make, and these are mostly just for my build techniques, I extended the prop slot back and made it straight. It's just a personal technique I do on every single plane I build. I also ran my, as you can see, I ran my rudder push rods and hinges to the outside. I'm trying my best when I build now to keep this prop wash area here as clean as possible, as well as the prop slot, just so that I get hopefully as much efficiency out of the air coming off the prop as possible. So in order to accommodate that, and you can also see I ran my elevon push rods on the outside. On the build, I think they're supposed to run in here, and I just wanted to keep, again, the prop slot and the prop wash area clear, so I ran mine to the outside. So in order to accommodate that, what I ended up doing was I trimmed about 3/4 of an inch off. The aileron should run all the way into the fuselage, and you may or may not be able to see the hinge here. I actually had to do this modification out of necessity, because when I mated the wing and the fuselage together, that's when I realized I was going to have this problem. So I cut about 3/4 of an inch, moved it inboard and then resecured it to the fuselage. So now this part here doesn't move, as you can see, and doesn't, so it won't interfere at all with my my push rods. Pardon me. For hinges, I've used fiberglass drywall tape and foam tack glue all around. On the aileron, I only went with about a 1-inch width. The aileron hinge, in my experience, doesn't take as much punishment as the rudder and elevon hinge because it's not in the prop wash. A couple other different techniques I made just to make this as sleek as I could is I symmetrically shaped and sanded the leading edge and trailing edge of my all of my control surfaces, the stabilizers, and I also did the same thing on the wing here. I've got about 4 or 5 flights on it already, and did a speed test, and already in addition to the design features and perhaps a couple of those mods that I've made, this is significantly faster. These two planes essentially weigh the same. They have the same power setup on them, and with a 1600 battery, this is a focal price 2700 motor I'm running here with a 6x3 EMP prop. I got a top speed of 82 miles per hour on the V4. Top speed I've ever had on the V3 is 74. So significant difference in speed there, if definitely that's what you're looking for. So anyway, I think that's about all I can discuss on the differences. So I'm just going to give her a little toss in the air here and see what kind of fun we can have. Hey everybody, had to take a little break there after my little walk around to readjust some of my control surfaces. I notice I do this on most of my planes. After about a half dozen flights or so, sometimes I find even though a control surface might have been dead center when I first launched it, as the hinges loosen up or the linkages work in after half a dozen flights or so, sometimes that control surface will be not dead center, and then I end up trimming against that to keep it trimmed. The RC gods actually were with me today. I've got about 7 or 8 flights, or what did I say? 6 flights I think now, and it balanced actually bang on the stock C of G. So luckily right now it's and it's a bit of it's a pretty calm day, so I've got 0 trim in. But anyway, so it's good to go. Let's see what fun we can have. So still very good slow speed stability and responsiveness, even with scaled down control surfaces. I'm at about 35% throttle here, and just gentle inputs with elevon and aileron to get around the corner. A little boost of throttle there. So I have mechanically reduced my ailerons, and I've also reduced them in throw in my radio. That was just a half stick roll, so plenty of roll authority. Even with the smaller elevons and ailerons, no problem there at all. So we'll just go into about a half speed, half stick loop. Not the smoothest, but pilot needs to keep working on those. Kind of hard to see that camo against the trees, eh? Shocker, camo actually works. So you can see there, although I don't have full throws in my elevons, that was a full power, full stick, attempting kind of a flip loop, and because there's reduced the amount of control surface in the thrust vectoring area has been significantly reduced. you know, very great rolls. Again, that was only about half stick, so no problem at all in the roll axis with elevons and ailerons. So back to the see, that was more, again, so it doesn't really tumble like the V3 Mig did, because I think probably because you've got much less control surface in the thrust vectoring area, but still very, you know, with so I just basically tapped half elevator there at top speed, and the nose just popped up, no problem at all. So still lots of authority, I think, in all the control surfaces, especially elevons and ailerons with their reduced size. But the thing that I really am appreciating about this plane, you know, the old big German V3 Mig there, I have over 300 flights on that, so you know, I'm pretty darn used to how it handles. What I'm really liking about this plane with the smaller control surfaces is I feel even more precision and tightness in how it flies in all the speed regimes. You know, because of those smaller surfaces. Anyway, just my personal feel. I feel like I'm getting more direct and better feedback sort of from the plane as to what it's doing, if that makes sense. But I feel that it's crisper, more tight, more precise, less drag and turbulence caused when you put a control surface into the slipstream. As a result, because they are smaller. Nice. So I'm just at 50% throttle now. Cruises around beautifully. You know, still very reasonable aerobatics at half throttle. Oh, and the overhead brake a little there. Shut that annoying thing off. All right. Bring her back to earth here. Oop! Almost like she didn't want to land there. Got picked up by a little bit of wind at the end. So there we have it. The RC Powers Mig29 version 4. Once again, just another, you know, great, in my humble opinion, another great step up from the previous Mig. You know, that old German Mig I've had around for so long, I don't think I have the heart to ever retire her. But anyway, this is definitely, you know, again, RC Powers has taken this very successful plane to another amazing level. So I'm just going to put my radio down. So one feature that I wasn't able to take advantage of, but it's a new feature on all the V4s, is they cut a little notch, and you can put these little tabs in there. But because I went with KF4 airfoils, I didn't use that. So I just did what I normally do. You may or may not be able to see the hole here, but I just poked a little hole in the wing, and that's where the stock CFG is. And as I mentioned, you know, it just balanced bang on as soon as I tossed it out of my hand. I don't think I had to put any pitch trim at all. I had to work a little on the roll axis, you know, moving my battery just slightly to zero out the trim. Oop, this thing's not cooperating here. So there you can see I've got a 1600 battery here, and I guess probably the way I distributed my weight, because my servos are all kind of here behind about an inch, what's that, about an inch and a half behind CFG. I ended up with a 1600 battery fairly far forward. I've only got, I don't know, maybe another quarter of an inch there. So maybe something to consider if you're building this plane. I suppose I could always just move my speed controller back a little bit. That would help bring stuff back towards the C of G some more. I've yet to fly it with a 2200 battery, but again, I've still got lots of room to move a 2200 battery back. Today's a calm day, so I didn't really need any extra weight for stability. But anyway, can't say enough good things. You know, once again, RC Powers has done an amazing job. So I'm going to continue to fly and evaluate this plane over the coming weeks in different weight configurations and that sort of thing. I love this little power setup here. This Focal Price 2700 motor is a real winner if you're looking for a light to medium weight setup. I already have a super speedster MiG in my hangar right now, so I don't know that I'll be in a rush to build this, you know, in a 100+ mile an hour configuration. But I can definitely see that that you'd have no problems with an NTM prop drive on 4-cell breaking 100 miles an hour with this plane. So anyway, there we go. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much to RC Powers for another awesome edition of the MiG-29. Thanks very much, and take care.